Hello, everybody. Welcome back to day 2 of the United States National Snooker Championship of 2022. Lots of moving and shaking here. We've got a great match coming up between Jacob Lackey and Jouzif Aldalo. Aldalo. Thank you. And I've got a great guest in the booth here, fresh off a nice win, Dave Daly. How you doing, Dave?
Hey, how are you?
Good. So, we had the stream running a little bit there, and some fans saw the players warming up a little bit, but they also saw something you should never do on a table.
Absolutely. We'll talk to them afterwards.
Do not flip a coin on the table. Just a little edge of that coin could go into the cloth and rip it, and that's going to make someone have a worse nightmare. And maybe you guys over here at Ox have another bill to pay to fly over Simon Barkin to recloth.
Yeah, we'll be charging them for it.
So they're just setting up the balls, and handshakes will be had. And it looks like Jacob Lackey will be breaking off. Jacob hails from Minnesota, land of 10,000 lakes. And we're underway. So these are best of 3 matches. Who are you liking in this one, Dave? Do you know both of these players?
I don't know either of them, actually. I've been talking to Jacob beforehand. He's a pool player who's transitioning over to snooker. Actually, I think he's been playing a while, but he's still sort of getting to grips with the change from pool to snooker. But Jouzif, or whatever way you pronounce his name, I have not seen him play. It's a good pot, though.
It's a nice long pot there by Jouzif. Yeah, I think a lot of the American players here started in pool and now are making their way over to snooker, where probably you with your Irish background started in snooker and then came into pool a little bit.
Never touched pool. I mean, Mike has made me do it every now and then, but don't kill me, but I can't stand the game. I'm snooker through and through.
I'm right there with you. Dave's alike.
Yeah. Hello, Andy Walls. Good to see you again, or hear you, or see your text, or whatever.
Ooh. Yeah, you don't see the swan come out that often.
If we go silent for a minute or two every now and then, it's because I'm trying to learn how to use this scoreboard while I commentate.
That's true.
Mr. Bernie here is helping me.
Yeah, that's a call out. We need lots of help behind the scenes. You know, it's very tricky to scorekeep and commentate at the same time. You know, sometimes you get on a great tangent or story to relate to the viewers, and then you forget that, the players just made a 50 break.
Open the pack there a bit. These middle pockets are pretty tight. An angle like this will test his cueing. What about pool do we dislike? I don't know. I just grew up with snooker, and to me, it just seems like a more complicated game, and I just enjoy it more.
Yeah, we have to wear many hats behind the scenes. We just had our great tournament director there, Jamie Miller, just asking us a question. I don't know if it's a complete dislike of pool, but what I is fascinating about the game of snooker. Obviously, there's a lot of, you have to turn on offense and defense quickly back and forth. And as well, all the balls are solid, so it just seems like they're floating around the bays.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Jouzif is he sponsored by the Q Father, or is that his nickname, the Q Father? He's got a nice little patch on his waistcoat.
Sure, we can ask him later. Talking to a few of the lads here, though, the first matches each morning, it takes a bit of time to warm up. It's early, By the second match onwards, I think Q arms are running a bit better.
Well, that going back to that 1 minute of practice.
Yes, which is not much. That's true. Let's see what Jacob can do here now. He can make breaks. I've seen him do it, so the table's pretty open.
I think they stated that doors open. Say that the tournament is starting, matches will start at 9 today. For instance, you open the doors at 8:30, and it's up to the players. They can come in whenever they want. Mm-hmm. I know they're trying to do a fair play of each player gets a minute.
Yeah. I think the issue is it would be slightly advantageous to the first four teams of players if they get more than than the 1 minute, because thereafter will to keep the whole thing moving, you have to kind of limit it.
Yeah, we've got a lot of matches to get through, 4 tables. There's only so many hours in the day.
I wasn't here in the evening yesterday, but I heard it went on till midnight last night.
Yeah, went pretty late.
That's pretty late.
We like to keep that late night drama for the finals. And just remember, you can get all the results on cloudsnooker.com. You've got the 2 days in the booth here, David Burney and Dave Daly.
I'm glad you're pronouncing it right.
Yes, I do have to apologize to the entire nation. For some reason, I just thought you were a surrealist.
I've met this guy 3 years ago, and every second tournament he calls me Dali. I have to keep correcting him. Someday you'll get it right.
Oh, maybe I'll call you Salvador as well.
See, does he trust himself on the long blue?
He's trying to go through for the black. Dangerous.
I mean, this long blue is something snooker players practice a lot, so let's see what he can do. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. So as a player, Dave, what are you feeling here? It's early stages. There's a few open. What's your game plan?
It depends on how I feel. Like I think he's going for the pot here. And it should be straightforward to be on the black. Yep. Unless he hits it like that, in which case he's on the pink. But yeah, I think it depends on how I'm feeling. But it was probably a reasonable percentage shot to try. Overhit that a bit. Worked out okay.
I think there's a little bit of room to get by that black into the...
I mean, you might have to push through here. Which, you never know where you're going to end up. He's not liking it.
This red obviously to the side pocket has an element of safe.
I suspect he'll come up and down though. Yep. Whoa. So one of the things talking to Jacob the other day was the club he plays at on the East Coast has got a very thick and slow cloth, and getting used to the speed of the table has probably been his primary concern.
Yeah, it's still on the black, but definitely would like to be a little bit closer.
I thought he would have tried to come off the cushion and a little bit aside and over for that red, the bottom of the pack. Might not have had enough angle. That'll make him feel good. Again, too hard though. He's
He's having a tough time judging the pace of the table.
He really, yeah.
But, he had all yesterday. All these tables are alike. There's not really much difference from table 1 to 4. So you should know, maybe just a little extra pressure being on the TV table.
Still though, I mean, each of those pots was reasonable. That last red, those are tight pockets, so he'll feel good about that.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of kind words, Dave, from the Snooker Shed. Is he the president of the Dave Daly fan club?
Andy Walls and I know each other through the snooker community in the UK. He probably mentioned it over text yesterday, but yeah, he built a custom what did he say, 5/8 table. So it's basically the bottom half with a little bit, it goes just above the blue, because his snooker shed can't fit a full-size table. It's pretty ingenious. It's go look up the snooker shed on YouTube and hit subscribe. He does some good coaching.
Okay, good to hear.
A bit thick and hard, I think.
Yeah, he's left a red onto the left middle pocket. And that black being respotted on the pink or the blue spot is to his advantage. See what the Q father can do here. So it's just getting...
What's the revalidate it's on the spot, is it?
Just making sure, see if the black goes back on its spot.
I'm not entirely sure you're allowed to do that. I kind of think you're not, actually.
I think that's a foul.
Yeah.
I think the old adjective, if we did have, referees, a player could say, will the black go on its spot? And the referee's correct response will be, pot it, and I'll show you.
Or you tell me. Oh, it clearly went.
Yeah, great little camera angle right there.
Oof. Both of them struggling with pace at the table.
I guess we have to be a little forgiving. There's not a rich history of snooker in America, so a lot of people are learning the game. It's very new to them.
Plays with both hands. Doesn't look comfortable with that hand, though. Nice recovery.
I think you see that a lot more and more now. People getting into snooker, they train themselves to play with both hands. I know a lot of pool players just do not like the rest. How do you feel about the rest, Dave?
I don't love it, but I do play both-handed as well. I've been playing since I was 8. And if I didn't learn both hands, I'd have been using the rest all day. So given the option, I would use my left over a rest, but on these large tables, sometimes you just don't have an option but to use the rest. You got to get used to it. It's tough bridging over. That's one of my Achilles heels, actually, is bridging over balls.
Very tricky because, you just you're coming down on your cue ball a little bit and one little veer left or right. You put some unwinding siding on it. And, our good friends at the United States Snooker Association have kind of just put a post up there in the stream, just letting you know how kind of the knockout round is going to phase up when we get to the round of 16, just who will play who. Thanks for that information. You can find all live up-to-date scoring on cloudsnooker.com. We're just in the second match of our streamed table today. It's Jacob Lackey against the Q-father, Jouzif Aldalo.
That might not have worked out too bad, actually. Might have been better off with the in-off there.
How are you looking in your group bracket, Dave? Are you on top, in the cellar, somewhere in the middle?
I'm out.
You're out?
Yes, I lost 2 matches, won 2 matches, but I needed to win 3 matches to qualify. So, as I was saying yesterday, I lost one of them on the black in the final frame. So, 1 ball decided my fate.
1 ball. Always comes down to 1 ball.
Yeah.
Overall, how did you feel about your U.S. national tournament experience?
I enjoyed it. It was a mixed bag for me. Some frames were scrappy and I didn't bring it, and others were it was a nice shot. And others were reasonable. Yes, it was, Andy. Very nice double. Didn't quite capitalize on the snooker afterwards, though.
Sure, speaking of double, he's got another one here. This red just close to that middle pocket. Double off the cushion. Could go into the opposite.
I think he meant it, Andy. I would think.
I think they're trying to get that snooker on the blue.
No, that definitely. I mean, he didn't get the snooker, but that wouldn't have been a fluker.
No.
All the way, nice shot.
Sure. I think the keys to doubles is always just keep looking straight ahead. Listen for that pot to drop. Don't turn your head to look at it.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you're thinking to turn your head, you're going to take your mind off the object ball.
Yes, indeed.
TK, I'm not sure if Jouzif played at the Canadian Snooker Championships last year at Corner Bank in Toronto. I'm pretty sure if you're online somewhere, I'm pretty sure you could probably find the bracket to that event, as nowadays everything gets put up online and it's there for, I guess, eternity.
So I assume the Canadian Snooker Championship is not for Canadians only then, unlike the snooker US Nationals is US citizens only.
I'd have to find out. I haven't actually been to the Canadian National Championships because it's always been held in Toronto, and I haven't made my way out there. So I'll do some research for you, Dave, and all our fans out there. I'm pretty sure if you went on their website and found out, you'd get a list of all the criteria.
Making me do all the work, though.
That's a shot he'd like to have back. He just push that out for an easy starter here for Jouzif.
Ooh.
I spoke too soon.
Yeah, I think he'd like to have that back too.
Mm-hmm. So no harm, no foul there for Jacob Lackey.
We're almost back to where we started. Red back with the yellow.
Just gotta watch queuing over the green and blue here. Even if a single thread of your shirt touches one of those balls, it will be a foul.
It was interesting last week watching and reffing the World Women's US Championship, and hair was definitely a factor. You know, lots of the ladies have long hair, and they were having to do this and that to avoid their hair touching balls. In fact, once or twice it came very, very close.
Yeah. Yeah, Mary's got it down packed. Mary Talbot has got a nice short cut, so her hair never gets in the way. But as well, Emma, her traveling companion, she ties it up in a bun. But it's interesting, Bex and Jamie had the hair flowing down, and at one point, actually, Jamie had to tuck in her hair into her shirt.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
just have to see if that red goes by that yellow.
I don't think it does.
Way to show your support, Tiffany. Tiffany Cleveland showing her support. That's what the players want to hear. You know, they'll feel it somehow. I know there was a lot of support for you, Dave, in your match against Pravin, and you must have heard something through the Ethernet because you came out victorious.
It was a bit of a struggle at first.
Well, you are correct to say it's the first match of the day. You know, you got to fight those cobwebs. And
yeah. I wouldn't be a morning person generally.
He's got it's a tricky red that's close to his cue ball. It's a tough cut into the top right corner. It looks like he's going to try and get into the maybe other red by the pink and black, or thin cut here. Yeah,
Jacob's going to have to get the long stuff out now, and he's not used to that.
Yeah,
Oh no, actually he's going to go. Oh, never mind. The other red passes the black.
Yeah, he's fortunate of that. He's not one of the taller players in the tournament, but as you were saying, Dave, you learned to shoot with both hands, and you're not an Andre the Giant, but you're a good stature. You needed to use those rests, so
Definitely not a good stature. In fact, I had to order a short cue. My arms are so short.
really.
Yeah, I play with a 5'5" inch, or sorry, 5'5", 55" cue. He didn't need to hit that hard. That was very pacey.
Yeah, I think that's just going back to the pool thing. A lot of more pool players play those harder shots. And I think also they think, a bigger table, I got to hit it harder, right, to get around the table.
Yeah.
Or,
But he didn't even need to get around the table. There's a red ball over the corner pocket there. But there's a snooker coach that Andy and I use a bit in the UK, and he always says, what's the 3 S's? Slow, short, and simple. Always pick the slow, short, simple shot. And that black ball should have been a lot slower.
because it was simple.
Well, I won't say that, but it was. It certainly didn't need that pace. Hello, David Brock. I don't remember. Did I borrow a toothpick from you? I don't remember.
Jeez, there's a lot of dental talk going on. Is this mic influenced or something like that?
Yeah, I have many memories of David Brock, but getting a toothpick off him was not one of them. Oh, my cue. Eat my shorts, dude.
You have to pull up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I guess David Brock was alluding to that 5.5 inches of cue you were talking about before earlier, that little Freudian slip.
I said 5'5" inches, but I'm a little taller than 5'5", but not by much. I assume that question is to David Brock. Dennis.
There's a lot of Daves here. There's Dave Daly, Dave Burney, Dave Brock. Because I know we do have legions back in Canada. I'm not sure if there's legions down here. They're probably servicemen's clubs, or what are they?
And even if there were, they would not have snooker tables, would be my guess. So I guess that question's either to you or Mr. Brock.
Well, if that is to myself, Dennis fan, they are very, very tight, these tables. Very pro-like standards.
Yeah, they're probe cut, Dennis, so they're probably as tight as they get.
Ooh. Shot of the tournament maybe right there so far.
I'm not sure. I didn't watch. He put his hand up. Maybe he doesn't know the protocol. But I can't imagine he went for that. That was to you, Bernie.
So yes, they are on Main Street. Yes, they are definitely tighter. These are, yes, we alluded to pro cut pockets. So very tight, very challenging. Definitely tight enough to give you some sleepless nights, that's for sure. Yeah, I'll have to check David Brock actually with the scoring software that they have here at Ox, if they have the capabilities of doing a shootout. I did throw one last year back at our place in Richmond in November. I think a lot of people at the onset of the shootout, they weren't too sure. Maybe when I put out the email, we're having a shootout tournament, some people were a bit wondering about it. Then we put it off, and a lot of people, lots of smiling faces. People really enjoyed it. You know, it was a quicker pace, but still kept the integrity of the game of snooker. You know, the rules and stuff like that, but just with the shot clock. So I think it's a good format to introduce the game in North America, where
Absolutely.
It seems a lot of people on this side of the pond want things more quickly.
The first time I ever watched it, I didn't like it at all, but I've come to really like it. I mean, as a one event a year thing, I wouldn't want to do it more often than that, but I enjoy watching it. It's definitely a good leveler. I mean, nobody in the top 16 has ever won it in the UK, so it's gives the lower ranked players an opportunity to make some cash.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Dave, and it's not just because we share the same first name, but yeah, it's nice as a one-off. It's just a different, it's like different formats.
Yeah.
You know, a British Open that will be coming up soon. I think they're in the beginning rounds. It's best of 5, a ranking tournament.
Yes, and as a ranking, you see, I can't remember who I talked to, but I talked to one of the officials, and I think they were saying that the main reason they make it a ranking event is because if they didn't, the top guys wouldn't play in it. So Dennis Fan, 3 rail kick. I don't know if that was a shout out to me and my Irishness, where we never pronounce our H's. It's 33 and a third. So
sure, there's a few.
I try.
There's a few Ken impersonators.
We're not built for it.
What do you have against the letter H?
I don't know. It's just our tongues can't do it.
But yeah, just going back to formats, like you look at the World Championship, this is the crown jewel, and pretty much when you get to the semifinals, you're only halfway there. If you look at frame counts that you need to win.
Now that shot, especially for Jacob being a pool player, I thought he was going to kick that off, off the rail, because it seemed like the red would go up to those 4 colors, white would stay where it was, and it would be a good safety. Whereas he's now left a long pot.
Fortunate with that kiss on the yellow. Might be a gap just to sneak off the right side of that red.
Black is back in play. I wonder will somebody be glad of that later? Yes, it was almost a fluke, Andy. That's right, Mr. Brock. The lower ranked players definitely look at that tournament as a way to climb fast in ways that they probably wouldn't or couldn't otherwise. I think you're talking about Christian. Andy, he didn't invent it last night. We've been using that for about a year now. But did you coin it? I think Mike Dominguez actually coined it. Talent juice? Not familiar with that one. Oh. Isn't that not called alcohol?
No, talent juice. Iced tea.
Oh, okay.
It's true. Snooker Shed Christian is an avid user of this term fluker. What do you think of this term fluker, Dave? Coming from Ireland?
I'm down with it, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that the American in you now?
I know. Been here too long. I think that was an intended snooker right there. Oof.
That might... Wow.
It's interesting. I'm not sure. Jacob waited to see if Yusuf wanted him to put it back.
Yeah, that's just another learning curve, I think, here that needs to be taught. Mm-hmm. I've seen a few players actually, can't remember the gentleman last night, but the ball was rolling towards the pocket and it didn't drop, but obviously it had the way of going towards it, but he kind of like pushed it into the pocket where that's a no-no. You can't touch the ball.
Yes, that's right.
But a good second attempt there by Jacob. So we're getting more into the day. The room is starting to fill up. We're here at Ox Billiards in Seattle, Washington for the 2022 United States National Snooker Championship. Still, there's lots of room if you want to join us in person. The drinks are cool. The action is hot. We've got the multi-talented Dave Daly in the booth with me. We'll hopefully be seeing him a little bit later doing some refereeing, Dave.
Yes, you will indeed. Probably. I'm not sure if it'll be today, but I'll certainly get involved in reffing tomorrow and Monday. Awkward bridging on this one.
that black is, it's just in your eye line. It's just a little bit of annoying.
David Brock, if you go to cloudsnooker.com and on one of the tournaments there will show up as the US Nationals 2022, and then there'll be a results button. You click that, you'll see all the results so far, and then if you hit the live button, you'll see the current scores on all 4 tables.
Yeah, it's really nice. These iPods or iPads that are the scoring devices that the players are using, as soon as they punch it in, it speaks to the website. And
yep, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, we don't have to hire a person to do that. We let the players do the work there.
Yeah, yeah.
So Joseph's just struggling to kill off this frame a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, Dave, as a player, are you aware of that? When you're just that close to killing off a frame, does it seep into your conscious?
No, it absolutely does. That, in fact, it happened to me in my first round this morning. It felt like we were on that last red for ages, knocking it about. And, it can get frustrating. You end up doing an unforced error at some point, like that. Ooh. There was an opportunity to kill it off. Missed.
It's funny, I noticed it a lot this weekend and a lot last weekend. You see the American players kind of pull their cue to the side and chalk it that way, whereas the more snooker player puts the cue straight up and down and just kind of chalks it right about where their chin is.
Yes, yeah. It is funny to see that difference. I don't know why pool players hold their cue sideways to chalk it. It just seems so inefficient.
So awkward.
I guess they watched... I can't remember the name of the pool player in the 90s who was the main event. He probably did it and then just everybody followed suit. But what do I know?
True, it's kind of like that. And when you watch pro snooker a lot with their bridge hand, they'll do like the little finger tap.
Mm-hmm.
They all do it, but like
Lots
at one
of them do it,
point,
yeah.
I can't remember who the gentleman was that first did it, and one does it, and then everyone follows suit.
Yeah. At least nobody's putting their chalk on the table.
There's been a few.
I know. But I mean right now.
Sure, we were commending you when you had you were in a snooker in your last match, and you just put a little bit of chalk on the cushion, on the top part of the cushion, which was a great way to notify, it saves the guessing game of where the cue ball is going to go back. And as well, when your shot was done, you pressed down the table to get rid of that mark.
Yeah.
Fantastic, Dave.
Thank you very much.
We need to teach people. It's like golf, you got to replace your ball marks on the green.
Yeah.
If you make a chalk mark on the table, just bat it down.
Mm-hmm. last week, having refereed the ladies all week, putting chalk on the, around where the cue ball is saves a lot of heartache and figuring out the respot.
What do you think about the coin idea? Just putting a coin down.
It's probably a fair idea, but it just means that, if there's a hard shot after it, somebody has to go run and grab the coin before a ball hits it. Otherwise, there's a foul. I think I prefer the chalk myself.
Okay.
It's the same concept, but there's no danger.
I know we do that really back in Canada, and we say it's the player's responsibility. You put the coin down to mark where the cue ball is, but if a ball's coming towards it, it's your responsibility as the striker to pull up that coin, because it'll be a foul if any ball hits that.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they just use chalk? You can bring that home now. That could be my contribution to Canadian snooker.
Perfect. He's in the history books. Dave Daly, the man, the myth, the legend.
It's more like a leg end, I'd say.
Is there a silent H in there or something? Yeah, speaking of a long time on the last red, I think
there's been plenty of opportunities to knock that ball in. Now, what rest is he using there? He's pulled one of the pool rests. That rest belongs on the pool side of the house, and he's pulled that over and he's using it. He did tell me yesterday he doesn't like the snooker rest.
The crosses, yeah.
Yeah. So
kind of looks like moose antlers almost.
It does, yeah. Looks very Batman-ish. Oh, thank God. Not that I'm supposed to. So, how are we doing?
Well, the moose works for Jacob. Actually, a great Canadian player, Fern Loyer, actually travels around with his own rest.
I assume that's allowed, is it?
I think so, yeah. I wouldn't see a problem with that. Just more luggage you got to carry on.
Mm-hmm. I know there's certain aids that you wouldn't be allowed. Like you wouldn't be allowed to put a scope on your cue, for example. So there is some rules about what you can and can't bring, but obviously your own rest is not one of them then.
I think if you talk to the officials, tournament directors, at least presented before the tournament, just saying, hey, I have this. Is this allowed? Mm-hmm. They can make the judgment call at that point. I wonder how some of these players with this great scoring software they have, it does put up a lot of stats during the match, and you kind of see sometimes down on the bottom, average shot time almost reaches a minute.
Yes.
For some of these guys.
Yeah. I didn't check what time this frame started, but it must be coming up to an hour. Is it?
Yes, as our tournament director, Jamie Miller, was telling us that this match was to start promptly at 10:30.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I guess that's why they had a little bit of that 1 minute extra training time, practice time.
That's a nice shot.
Jacob's doing his best to crawl back into this frame. Got a good angle to go up and down the table for the blue.
To power it a bit. Yeah.
As we've seen earlier in the frame, he definitely was being a lot of pacey. I'm surprised he just came up a little short there.
I think the angle maybe wasn't as much there as you might have thought. I think it looked like he had the force on the angle to me.
Okay, he's looking a little uncomfortable here too. And Jouzif just needs the blue to put us into the snooker's required stage. It's a long pot though.
This is not an easy pot. Not sure I should even try it.
Yeah, and Jacob needs pink and black. Jouzif just needs the pink.
Worked out nice.
Well, it's safe. Gotta have patience. Just don't want to force the issue.
It's always a tough one to decide, the pot versus safety, because if you do a poor safety shot and you leave your opponent on, you sort of went down on the defense. But the same is true in the pot. So sometimes you wonder whether it's better to go out fighting on a shot like you had there.
Yeah. If the ship is sinking, you might as well go down with it. Go down fighting.
Well, when you had your chance and you didn't take it and you lose the frame, sometimes it's harder.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob uses the pool loop bridge when he screws back or draws, as they say in pool. A little bit of risk of miscuing with that kind of balls are smaller in snooker than pool.
He tried for the safe, but he's left a chance for Jouzif. Clipped 62 minutes in this first frame. So they've been slugging it out. It's a best of 3.
Ooh. That has worked out well despite all of that.
Yeah, that was quite a roller coaster of emotions in that shot.
I bet so. For both of them. Where's that going?
It's okay. Got a good cue ball there, tight to the ball cushion. Remember, Beck's kind of giving us some good advice when you're tight to that cushion.
Yeah.
I think I noticed you in your match, you were just doing some nice, short, sweet strokes on that.
Yeah, yeah. Short is definitely best when it comes to. In fact, I played Jacob in practice the other day, and he was doing long strokes on the cushion and miscuing. And I mentioned to him, keep them short, and I see he just did, so that's good. Although, unfortunately, might have left it on.
Short,
and
soft, and simple.
Correct.
Great advice there, and that concludes the first frame of this best of 3 match. Jouzif takes it, so Jacob up against it. He's got to dig in if he wants to win this match. So we'll step aside for a short little break, and we'll be back with frame 2 action. And welcome back to day 2 of the United States National Championship here at Ox Billiards in Seattle, Washington. David Burney is in the booth with you. I've been accompanied by Dave Daly. He's doing a great job giving some good insight into the mind of a player. Just took a little short comfort break and we'll be right back into the booth. But we're happy that you're tuning in wherever you're coming from. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.tv. Search out Ox Billiards and you'll find all this great snooker action. Lots of moving and shaking today. Unfortunately, 22 players are going to go home because the top 2 of each group are going to be moving on to the knockout round starting tomorrow. So we'll see how this frame turns out. That was definitely a edgy and nervy frame, that first one. Went right down to the wire there. A few players were struggling a little bit to find some form in the latter stages. That one last red seemed like it was taking quite a while to find the bottom of the pocket, but eventually it did, and Jouzif was able to take on the pink and seal his fate as victorious. Julian, the competition will conclude on the holiday Monday here in the US. It's called Labor Day. So not sure exactly when the finals is scheduled. I think we'll be wrapping up the round robin today. And then tomorrow we'll have the round of 16 and the quarterfinals. And then Monday will come the semifinals and finals. So definitely take a look at cloudsnooker.com. That has all the information. And I think at the conclusion of the round robin today, you'll be able to find out a lot more information of the scheduled matches and the knockout time. And we know you all have your favorite players. We definitely will evaluate all the matches and just see what was going to make the great TV table. So we do apologize in advance if your favorite player isn't on. Sometimes it's just a matter of what the collective society feels. And Ajaya, who is the president of USSSA, how he feels would be the best match to show off this great game. Jojo, hello there from the UK. Glad you're tuning in. Note, Julian, all players have to work to get to that knockout stage. There were 8 groups. I think 6 groups had 5 players in, and 2 groups had 4 players. So the top 2 from each of those groups move on to form a 16-player knockout round. And those round of 16 matches will be a best of 5, and then quarters and semifinals are a best of 7, finishing off with a final best of 9. I think it's just going to go run and hide. Off the spink. Thanks, Dan, for the update. I'm just doing a multiple of things here. We're always looking for great help behind the scenes, so sometimes commentating and scorekeeping can take a lot out of you because I want to regale you in great stories and great action and little tidbits about the game, and sometimes scorekeeping can be a little bit missed as we try and do lots of things at one time, and we know us as human beings, we can only do one thing at one time, as much as we say we can multitask. But a man that does a lot of great work around here at Ox Billiards, Dave Daly, is back in the booth. Thanks for joining us, Dave.
Thank you very much. Sorry about that. I took a bathroom break and then got caught up in a text message with my sister.
Do you have just the one sister, Dave?
Just one sister, yeah.
Oh.
Still lives in Ireland.
I was going to say, if you had 2 sisters, we might be alike.
You have 2 sisters?
I got 2 sisters. I'm right there in the middle.
Yeah, I'm the youngest of 2.
Meredith and Judith are my sisters.
Carol is mine.
Oh. So we are at least a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. Oh. It's pure pressure. Hold the grip too tight.
It's our friend Jojo turning in from the UK. Puts a nice little emoji of a teacup. Are Irish people big tea drinkers?
Very much so.
Very much. It's
Very
it's a UK thing. It's that whole aisle over there.
Yeah, but Ireland's not part of the UK. Just
Oh,
so
yeah.
you know.
Sorry, don't punch me out.
But yeah, in Ireland and the UK, yeah, tea is very much a thing. In fact, one of the players, Raymond, is from Ireland as well. And as I was entering Ox this morning, he was across the street, 4 lanes away from me, and shouted over to me, "Where can I get some tea around here?" So. We'll save the Guinness for later, Jojo. Arcsim Gaming, is that Archid?
I think it could be.
It might be Archid.
Does know.
Hello, Archid.
Where is Archit these days? He was a predominant figure at Bays.
I think he switched to both pool and doing what you're seeing now, which is he's big into streaming gaming, I think. Not really sure. Although the clue is in the handle, Arcs and Gaming, so I'm guessing it's gaming. No, that's not going.
Definitely, it's a long pot for one of these reds in the middle of the table to knock that other red just over the pocket, but it's in the jaw, so fancy him to make this.
Yeah, they're still missable. Like, you know, it's a good 1.5 inches away from the hole, and anything can happen to. I think he's taking the right shot. I don't think either player has found their groove yet today. From what I know about them both, I think they're both, can play higher standard. It's just morning game, competitive pressure. Sometimes the game just doesn't come to you.
That's a good development in Jacob's snooker mind there, because a newer player would be like, oh, there's, ball, as you said, there still is 1.5 inches with that one planned, and that's making it a tough shot.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's, taking his medicine. He took that red, took a long black on, which is fantastic, and now he's easily on.
Well, I think he might be snookered.
Oh, yes. I said the snooker mind is getting there. It's not fully engaged. I think might have had a better look at that blue ball, possibly, maybe taking that in the side and floated down for this red that's just sitting in the jaws.
I think he's going for the plant now. This is a tougher one even. Let's look at this then. Yep. Very nice. He did that at a nice pace too to increase the chances it would accept it.
Yeah, that's always the challenging part of this game, is if you hit it really hard, you got to be so precise. And if you hit it soft, it gives it that chance, but sometimes it can wobble in the jaws and just sit there. So,
and when you're nervous, hitting soft shots, you can decelerate, and that will also make you miss. Tension in the arm trying to hit soft shots can be challenging. Might not have have the angle on the pink. Maybe he does. Looks tight. Doesn't look like he does.
Yes, he'll know better than we do. So we just have the one camera angle. He's got multiple angles, looking at every possibility on the table.
Brown is too straight. Pink doesn't look on. He's going for black. Okay. Nice shot. A little hard, but nice shot.
Very gutsy too, because I think if he misses that black, he's leaving Jacob in at the business end of the table. Lots of reds.
That might be why he hit it a little harder, just to get the cue ball out of there a bit. Oh, it was unlucky. Black might go though. It's a tough pot, but it might go.
I think every pot in this game is tough. Come on, Dave.
It's true. Blind pocket shots in particular. There's one other camera shot that we can see, but I don't know how to project on the main screen without Christian with us. But from the angle I'm looking at, I think it might pot.
Yeah, I think he's got to be pinpoint precise. You know, we're just taking a look at our alternative angle. Christian, our technical director, is actually just in a match, so he's a wizard with all this computer gadgetry. I'm pretty sure if he was in the director's chair with us, he'd be punching into that other camera angle. So we apologize for just the bird's eye view. Well, he's electing not to go for the black anyway. So how are these? You were in the last year's U.S. Nationals, right, Dave? How are these tables compared to out there in New York?
They're definitely a lot faster. The cloth and the cushions on these tables are very, very fast. The tables in New York are I think they might be 100 years old. They're Brunswick tables. They're beautiful to look at. I mean, they look stunning, and the venue is stunning. The view over Central Park. It's probably the most stunning, snooker hall view I've ever seen. It was amazing. but the tables do play a lot slower, which makes you have to punch the ball a lot more. Whereas on these star tables, the cloth is so fast that you can sort of let the table do a lot of the work for you. But still, like I say, those Brunswick tables are beautiful.
Yeah, obviously, the pro player, will adapt quite quickly, but just being an amateur event here, it's going to obviously take some time. So maybe that's why Jacob is just struggling to find a little bit of the pace of the table.
Yeah. There's a lot of muscle memory in snooker. And it's hard to undo it. When there's so many variables to think about when you're down on your shot. Your technique, angle of the shot, where do you want your cue ball to go next? And there's so many different variables that muscle memory will usually be the thing that overrides your conscious memory when it comes to how hard you hit the shot relative to what you should do in the table condition.
And I think we saw that with all the great women from Britain that were over here for the US Open last weekend. They had the form.
Mm-hmm.
They also talked about jet lag.
Yeah.
But being tired, they just returned to what they know. Mm-hmm. And that muscle memory, as you mentioned, paid off.
Yeah.
Well, next time if you're in Vancouver, I'll have to take you up a trip to northern Vancouver at the Fire Hall, because they've got a beautiful Oxford table.
Nice.
12 foot by 6 foot. They don't really play that much. It needs some love on the cloth and the cushions, but the craftsmanship of the legs and the table design is just phenomenal to look at.
We were in Sheffield in April. We went to Ronnie O'Sullivan's store in Sheffield. He has this pop-up shop that he puts up for. You might have been there.
I was there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you saw that table that he had that some prince has bought. It's so ornate. It's unbelievable.
So 23:15. Do not adjust your sets. This is not rugby. This is snooker over here.
Yeah, they won't tackle each other. Not until the end of the match, anyway.
Well, now he might have to use that pace if he's wanting that red by the yellow come up for the pink or blue, but it looks like he's taking the red on the cushion. On the stream yesterday, we did have some Tom Collins fans. Tom Collins Jr. is playing in. His dad did wonderful things for the game of snooker in America. Actually, all these players are playing for the Tom Collins Trophy. But young Tom Collins Jr. was able to make it onto the TV table late last night. So if you look into the archives of yesterday's action, scroll to the end, you should be able to see Tom on the table. Hopefully we can get him on the table again today.
It's an Irish name. Have I heard one? Tom Collins?
Related to Michael Collins?
I must check them, but there's got to be some Irish history there.
There's always Irish history somewhere.
Wearing a glove in a snooker match should be grounds for disqualification, Donald. There's many a player would disagree with you. And, definitely the pool players tend to use them, but there's some traditional snookerists who are doing it now too, even in the Pro Tour in the UK. I don't love it myself, I have to admit, but whatever works, I guess.
True, our reigning champion, Ali Al-Said, he does wear a glove, but he has a carbon fiber Q. So I've understood that sometimes if you don't wear a glove, that Q kind of rubs off some nasty little bits on your hand. So it's important to wear a glove.
Yeah, he didn't used to wear a glove, but when he changed to the carbon fiber Q, he's now started to wear one. He believes that carbon fiber is the future. So we shall see. I wouldn't mind being able to play a Russ Muir standard, Donal. If only I were that good.
Well, fellow Irishman, Fergal O'Brien, using the carbon fiber 20 years ago. Yeah. Well,
I've not tried one.
Yeah, there's not really a lot of shops that carry those kind of cues. And I wouldn't dare ask Ali if I could try out his cue.
There's not a lot of shops that you can buy cues one way or another in these parts. I had to get mine ordered online and shipped from Australia.
Oh, what kind of cue did you get from Australia?
Cue Creator. It's the same brand that Stuart Billingham uses.
Ooh.
It's unfortunate. Yes, Donald, I use an ash cue too. I've tried maple cues, but it just, they weren't for me. I didn't like the color of them, and I didn't like the lack of the chevrons. Even though I don't really look at the chevrons when I'm playing, it's still, I don't know. Just ash wasn't for me. Oh, sorry, maple.
Yep, I've got an ash cue myself. I don't use the maple. Interesting, as he talks about, most Canadians do use a maple. I remember talking with Cliff Thorburn once, and he was just mentioning, hey, just take a look at those chevrons. Use those to line up your shot. Mm-hmm. So, good piece of advice there. I think he knows a few things.
He does, yeah. Who's the Irish guy in the box? My name is Dave Daly, Donald.
He's actually putting on the accents.
No.
He's an American citizen.
I hope I'm, yes, I am an American citizen, but don't hold that against me. I don't know. Yeah, Woogie Man. Yeah, Stephen Hendry's old cue. I think he paid 30 quid for that.
Correct. Yep, an old Rex Williams.
Yeah. It was a piece of crap, he said, but, you know, he got so used to it and used it for, I think he won almost all. In fact, I think he did win all of his tournaments with, all of his World Championships with that cue.
Yes, you are correct, Dave.
Just goes to show you. Anybody that uses their cue as an excuse of why they're not playing well, just think about Stephen Hendry.
Yeah, he's got a great autobiography, Me and the Table Out There, and he does talk about it, and just hindsight, him is amazed that, like, he just paid, £30 for a cue and not realizing that it would take him so far.
Mm-hmm. And then he was afraid to change.
And then, unfortunately,
the life forced it on him.
Yeah. And as Woogie Man accurately says, that cue got just snapped in transit. Mm-hmm. And where's that 8th World Championship, Stephen?
Yeah.
So.
I didn't know that, though. Kent already has 2 crit cue. Wow. You know, what works for one person just doesn't work for another. It's a very personal thing, a cue. It's, when you get used to it, it's like an extension of your arm.
Exactly, yeah.
You see some of the pros these days, and Karen Wilson, Mark Allen, changing their cue, and you wonder, like, why are they doing that? Like, they're just putting themselves at risk, I think. I think they're searching for something and look in the wrong direction sometimes when they do that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Back at the 2018 Masters over at the Alexandra Palace, as they were to check in that tournament, and the great Belgian player Luca Bissell actually came to his match with 2 cues in hand. Very odd. Usually you see a player come down with one. So
was he using one for? I think I recall he was using one for power shots or something. It was something about that. It wasn't just which cue will I use today. I think there was some method to it.
And I think at this year's World Championships, actually, Stephen Maguire switched cues in tournament. So. But hey, if it's working for you, that's what you can tell anybody. Mm-hmm. Hey, your cue is bent like a archer's bow. Hey, it works for me.
Yeah. So Donald can haggle them down to £2 like a good old Irishman, huh?
Ken, he's a good purveyor of good socks.
He is. He's actually a great lad. I don't think anybody doesn't like Ken.
Donald, thanks for that fun little story about Ken, about the acquisition of his cue. Wasn't aware of that.
I think I do remember reading that now that I see it. I think he pocketed the difference. Didn't tell his mother.
He might have got that back when he won the 1997 World Championship.
Yeah. For perspective, it was a fiver well spent.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that double kiss has not worked out for him.
It's looking like we're going to be high probability of 1-1 here. Well, it was £5 from the perspective of his mom or his mum. Oof. Overhit that a lot. So let's just roll that in for the blue. It's tension.
Maybe it's the glove.
Shh. Chance of an easy snooker here, though. And these are the type of snookers that you have to be careful of, because if you miss, you're into free ball territory, and cut that close. That could have went in and he'd been putting himself in trouble. No, Trump did that as a one-off. Captain, what is that, Tsubasa? He did it as a one-off. I actually chatted to him. He came to Seattle shortly after doing that last year, and I was chatting to him about it. And he sort of just did that for fun. And he was only asked a week before he did it. He didn't practice it at all. Borrowed a cue to play, so had low expectations of him doing well. And he said that, if he was ever going to do it again, he would want to practice for 6 months before entering a competition. But right now he's more focused on snooker, as he should be.
Good hit there by Jouzif.
Well, Mark Allen complained that there's not enough snooker tournaments on right now. So maybe using the time to generate a bit of extra cash.
It was just unfortunate, obviously, that the pandemic has hurt a few events that were supposed to be staged in Asia. And they just haven't been going. So, some of these players rely on their cue abilities to make a living. So they've got to find other ways of making an income. So if a pool tournament opens up, you should check it out. But hopefully soon enough we can get back into Asia on the pro circuit. And hopefully maybe someday they can jump over here to North America and have a US Open, or even bring back the Canadian Open that was on the tour many, many years ago. It's like just a question here. I think the result of the foul is going to be a 28-point difference, so he cannot put him back. Jacob can have Jouzif shoot if he wants to, but with the difference 28 and 27 on the table, snooker is required. Just kind of surprised here he's not putting them back. Yes, Alison Fisher, also another great player that was here in Ox.
That's right.
Yeah, I think she found she did start playing snooker, and I guess just the money wasn't there, and there was a lot more money in the pool game in North America. So she came over here. Fortunately, I didn't get the chance to meet her when she was at Ox, but Dave did.
No, I didn't actually.
No?
No, I was out of town that weekend.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity for Jouzif. Can't put him in a great snooker, but to see the caliber of the players, kind of amateurs. I think any snooker sometimes is a good snooker in this event. But they do say when you're needing snooker, sometimes it's good. If you need one, you need 4 or 5. Might have got it there. There might be a little bit of gap there just to hit that yellow, or he might come cushion first.
Cross double. Not sure he meant that, but he snookered himself.
Sure. So, Dave, as a player, what are you feeling? Are you feeling you're coming off the side cushions, or just trying to maybe go by the black with a little bit of siding?
So yeah, I mean, there's almost, it does look like he could clip it off the back cushion. And from that angle, from the TV angle we have, it looked like it was doable. Of course, now they may not put it back. In fact, they have not put it back. Oh, maybe they have.
I don't know if he can put it back.
Oh.
No, he shouldn't have been putting him back.
No, he should not have been putting it back. One sec.
They're already into it. So just a little bit of a debate here. Just Dave wanted to come out and correct them. Snookers are required. They can't go back. But we can't really go back in time after the fact. If they've played on, they've got to continue on. He's just informed them for future reference. Sure, I agree, Woogie Man. Like, it's just about learning and stuff like that. Just trying to get a solid explanation from it. It all really goes back because we don't have a referee nor a roving referee. If both players can agree on the outcome and fair play, then carry on. But hopefully when Dave comes back into the booth, we can get a good explanation of what happened.
All right.
Actually, I have to do a little bit of scorekeeping here, as commentating and scorekeeping is a tricky task doing together. It's actually just looking at the updated score on the website, which is the true score. Yeah, I apologize, Carl. This is just a little confusing here. I'm trying to commentate and scorekeep at the same time. A lot of things going on, so that's why we need lots of people behind the scenes to help us out. So just taking a look at the...
David Burney's been doing 15-hour days, so trying to commentate and scorekeep. Thankfully, Mr. Burney is just commentating for the TV. Scoring for the TV. The scoring at the table is done differently, so if a mistake is made here, we can rectify it by recalibrating to the table.
My thing is, I just don't know how to get rid of
It's correct now.
that yellow right now. Unfortunately, on our computer software, it's putting the yellow there. You know, Christian has done his match. He's somewhere in the room. Our tech producer here. Hopefully he can give us a hand. But that is the accurate score on the table right now on your screens. It is 47-23 for Jacob. The only just hiccup we have with our scoring software, somehow it's defaulted onto the yellow. And as we can see on our screen, the yellow is safely in the bottom of a pocket. Five-point foul there. That was Jacob's shot. So Joseph gets 5 points. Bear with us, everybody. We're trying to get it sorted out here. Scorekeeping has got scrappy just like this match has. So hopefully we'll just see the result of this exchange here, and hopefully we can update the scoring correctly. We're going to take a note from cloudsnooker.com. That's where you can find the updated scoring, because the players that are keeping score at the table, that software links directly. Okay, so it looks like we're tied at 47. All right. There we are. That is an accurate scoring on your screen there. It is 47-47, and we're on the green ball. Dave, I think we earned our paycheck today.
I think we did. Or maybe we didn't earn our paycheck today. One or the other. This scoring software, once something goes wrong, it's very limiting and allowing you to get yourself out of the hole you dug for yourself.
And they have to, as a player, you have to concentrate.
Yes.
Same in the commentary booth.
That's
we need
true.
to concentrate on the focus at hand. So sometimes it's nice when Mike and Christian have popped in and able to keep the score, but I believe they're in matches right now. So you've got the double D, Dave Daly and Dave Burney in here, doing the best they can.
Muddling through.
And I don't think this is a Microsoft program, right?
You were doing fine until I arrived. Maybe I should just leave.
On the contrary, no, Dave, you're doing a fantastic job. It's just, we get into regaling stories about this great game. Sometimes they're inspired by the chat. People have some 2 cents that they want to pop in, or they're asking us a question that we need to justify. And sometimes that can take your attention away, and the players are continuing on taking their shots. And then all of a sudden we're like, wait, what just happened there?
Yeah. Jacobone, it looks like a pink to me, so it might be the color on your screen.
Yeah, these are fantastic lights, actually. Littman lights. You really don't even think they're on when you're looking at the table. But when you're at the table, they light it up greatly. There's no real shadows or anything like that.
Jacob was fortunate there. Very close to winning off. Great shot. Jacob should be able to put an end to it here. This frame at least.
Yeah, doesn't need to do anything fancy. So with that little piece of business there by Jacob, he ties this match 1 frame apiece. So we'll just step aside for a few moments while these players rack up frame 3. It'll be an exciting one, a decider. Go grab a cool drink, and we'll be right back. And we've broken off in frame 3, deciding in this exciting match. We've had ups and downs and all-arounds on the table, even in the commentary booth. The little hiccups we had with the scoring software, would appreciate with all your patience, ladies and gentlemen. Really, we thank you. As we alluded to, we're wearing many hats behind the scenes, so we're doing our best just to give you some great snooker action. David Burney's in the booth with Dave Daly. The Killer Daves are here. It's interesting, Dave. I've kind of flirted with the idea, watching a lot of the, the amateur game. We're trying to emulate the pros and stuff like that. But you know how tough these tables are to pot. You ever thought about just breaking open the reds and putting that pressure on your opponent to make a high run?
I have not. No. No, never occurred to me. I think it would depend on who I was playing. I mean, there has been a few times when, maybe we're a few balls in and, it's a slow game where I've looked at my opponent and I thought, I don't think they're capable of a high break. Then I might break open the pack a bit just to free up the game. It's happened a few times, but really it depends on who you're playing.
True. I think if you're playing Ali LSA, last year's champion, you probably don't want to have that theory of breaking up the balls.
I would not. No. In fact, with him, you do the opposite. Tie up the black as much as you can. So Jacobone, I don't know if Jacob Lackey is a Man City fan. He's from. Where is he from again?
I think it's from Minnesota.
Minnesota. One of those that begins with an M. Mississippi, Minnesota. I don't know what, but so I'm not sure if he is or not. But I wouldn't hold it against him either way.
It's probably he's coming from Minnesota, a Golden Gopher fan. So that's the university mascot over there in Minnesota. State filled with 10,000 lakes. But we're having some good fun here in the evergreen state of Washington in Seattle. Ox Billiards. It's the 2022 U.S. National Snooker Championships. Feel free to come on down. We'll be here all weekend long, even on the holiday Monday.
I don't think he's from Tennessee, but he could be. Originally, maybe.
True. Some people might I'm not from there. I was born there. Like, Dave, are you from Ireland? What would you say to people? Are you from the US?
I would definitely say I'm from Ireland. I got a US passport, but I will never claim to be American, other than for the purposes of immigration. Ooh, that one hurt. That was an unforced error.
Yeah, actually, a few players yesterday were asking me if there's a hardware store nearby. They're looking to get a jackhammer to pry open those side pockets.
They're very tight. They really are. I use I put the cue ball on at the circular part of the D and practice potting the yellow ball into the center, because it's a real test of how straight your cue action is and your sighting. Jouzif seems to be coming out all guns blazing now.
Boogeyman 007 said he gave his friend a 70 head start and won. Smashed balls all around because you know how he plays. The opponent was very fluky.
Yeah. It was a good shot.
Well, speaking of Ken, his trademark phrase, it wiped its feet before it went inside.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or Alan McManus calls it went in the tradesman mattress.
Yes, Mr. McManus has some great terminology.
Mm-hmm.
I like when he says he's potted it black and just bursted open all those cherries, ready for a picking. We are in the home of some great cherry pie. Not sure, Dave, if you were a fan of the great TV show Twin Peaks.
Yes, indeed. In fact, filmed locally here.
Yes. Did you go out there?
I did, yeah.
Did you go out there when they were filming, or just...
No, I didn't live here at the time.
Okay. Well, they did the reboot, or the return, the continuation a few years back.
Did they? Oh, I didn't know that. It lost its appeal after a couple of seasons.
It only went for 2, yes. I think they really came out of the gun running. And then I think Mr. Lynch and Mr. Frost had some other side projects that they wanted to do and left it in hands, and then some of the plot lines got a little silly.
They did.
I think reading a little bit about it, unfortunately, the network thought that it would be more profitable on a Saturday night, where they felt their fans were kind of a bit more party people, shall we say, and it was more of a water cooler show. You know, put it on a Thursday night, and then everyone Friday morning gathers around the water cooler and talks about what happened last night.
Yeah. Back before Netflix binge watching.
That's true. But we're really appreciative of all you fans out there binge watching the snooker this weekend. There's a lot of great action here.
Such a pro. Segueing us back to snooker, as it should have. Yeah, Boogeyman. I think that was during the league, Champions League, where neither of them could qualify, so it didn't matter, and they just had some fun with it.
Yeah, I think Stephen Maguire's probably, got a great record, but his claim to fame was one of the strangest shots I've ever seen on a snooker table a few years back in the Masters. Take a look at that, fans out there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, YouTube it up. Stephen Maguire, he's playing Neil Robertson, and it's even just so tough to explain. I think I have to go in great detail about it. But the picture says 1,000 words, so check out Weird Shots Stephen Maguire, I guess, would be a good search.
Yeah. Watched it several times.
Tried to mimic it a few times too,
No,
Dave?
I think that's impossible.
I haven't seen a lot of Jouzif, but he's got great cue action. He can make that ball dance around the table.
He's quite quick with his feathers.
A great miss there by Jacob. It's given a door open here for Jouzif.
As you can tell from that camera angle change, we have our technical director back in the booth with us. Thank God. I actually thought he was going for the other red there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
It was a strange shot.
Mm-hmm. See if Jacob can punish him here.
It's all right.
Yeah, I almost thought he might take the yellow. Might have the better angle on the yellow.
No, I think
Come down.
I think Brown was good. It was a good choice. The angle. You always want to sort of have an angle where the cue ball is going to go into the line of your next shot. And Brown was a good choice for that.
Ooh. Smacks the table down with frustration. Tight pockets. I think our friend Daryl might have put that link up for that clip that we were talking about, Stephen Maguire with that wild shot. Yes, Woody Man, American Hustlers. That was a great little piece of programming when Ronnie came over and tried to hustle a lot of people in America.
I hate to burst all your bubble though, but it was rigged. He wasn't hustling anybody. They all knew.
So he actually beat Earl Strickland.
Did he? I don't know. but yeah, the magic of TV. None of what you saw was real.
Suspension of disbelief.
Yeah. unfortunately, they did know Boogeyman. It came out since, but
So it's been a sluggish little match here, pushing about 2 hours and 15 minutes of match time. See, we had a little delay in frame two, obviously, just to get that rule straightened out. Were the players aware of that? I know you were down on the floor, Dave, talking with the players when that whole foul miss not being put back and stuff like that.
they're both aware of the rule. They just lost track of the score and didn't realize.
Well, one thing that would help out if we had referees, so hopefully, we can get a good program here in America that snooker fanatics can sign up.
Yeah.
Give you a break. I know you did triple duty pretty much at the U.S. Open last weekend.
I did, yeah. I mean, even if some players who are knocked out can help, it's a community sport, and we could just get some scorers and some refs. The deeper into the tournament we get, we'll definitely have the semi-final and the final refereed, and possibly the quarterfinals too.
Great word you said there, Dave. Community. Let's all work together.
Yeah.
I know some people players can get disheveled by a defeat, but some of them have traveled a far way, and most of them are sticking around. So why not just give a little hand behind the scenes?
Yeah.
Because then maybe they can take that knowledge back to their club wherever they are and build up a scene there.
Absolutely. Ooh, that was what you call a fluke. He did not intend that to go in off the think. So it's pretty fortunate there.
I don't know. There's no emotion there on the cue father over there.
Yeah, he didn't hold his hand up, but maybe he didn't notice that cannoned. He was probably going for the pot, but not the way he achieved it.
He made it an offer the pocket couldn't refuse.
Yeah. You and your one-liners, Bernie.
Yeah, I just wonder, I haven't actually had a chance to look at the group stage for this group, and I wonder if both of these guys are just on the bubble, fighting for their lives.
I haven't studied it, but I want to say neither of them. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they are in a group with Cece.
I think Cece and John are the two that have it in that group.
And we also have Raymond McCarthy, who we saw last night, who was very effective over Jacob Lackey here. I think Raymond, does he own the club down in California?
I don't know.
Okay.
Raymond is from Ireland as well, from Cork.
Yeah, it looks like back to that Group D that Cece and John Poon are the leaders of this one. So this is kind of just battling out for pride.
Yep.
Maybe they can achieve the bronze medal in their group. But unfortunately, 3 players don't advance. It's the top 2 in each group here at the U.S. National Championship.
Which is a change this year. Last year it was the top 3. There's a lot of people who, if this was last year's format, would qualify, me included, but unfortunately not to be this year. With the larger field, they've limited it to just 2 per group.
I think Boogeyman 007 asks the $6 million question. why the pockets are so tight when they're on a pot, but it seems like they're buckets when a flute goes in.
It's exactly. Exactly. Especially when it helps your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely such thing as a run of the balls, though. You know,
Mm-hmm.
over longer formats, you know, the rub of the green evens out between the two players. But in a short form match, sometimes one player can get a better rub, and it can impact, you know, the score.
And your psyche.
It can really disrupt your psyche for sure. I've been on both ends of that happening.
Really, I thought there's always the luck of the Irish. Is it good luck, or
It
is there so bad
that
luck?
rule does not appear to apply to snooker.
Our friends at the USSA just posted theirs. It looks like Group A has played all their matches. So there's the results there, as you can also find the results on cloudsnooker.com. But Jackie Wee and Ahmad Ali Al Said are going to be moving on to the round of 16. Jackie definitely looked very impressive. So Charles Crouch and Amit Kakay and Christian Youngers, unfortunately, they had a good run, but they'll be going home. But actually, Christian will be sticking around because he's our technical director, providing you guys with all these great images, making us sound proper, making the visuals look stunning. So he's doing a great job behind the scenes, and we really appreciate him back here rather
Getting
than
the
on the
scoreboard
table.
right. Let's not forget that.
Gosh, just looking at Group B, Dave. Now, if Ahmad doesn't win his match, that looks like you could move on.
No,
No?
it's going to be Raymond and Dharma.
Oh, my fault. I didn't see Dharma. Sorry.
They're not in they don't show up in descending order, unfortunately. So I came third.
Okay. I got fooled. Yes, now I see you with Dharma. Be nice if maybe our friends at Cloud Snooker could have that kind of ascending order as it updates.
Yes, yeah. We try and add it to their backlog.
But here we are. We're in the deciding frame of this. It's been quite an epic match here. There's 18 in it, and we've got 35 on the table.
Woogie Man, her name is Frances, and she has played one match so far, I believe. She may have played a second match while we're talking here, but no. Christian's saying no, she's played one match so far. Which she lost 2-0.
But they're going to come fierce and quick. It looks like the lower groups haven't played a lot of their matches. So stay tuned, Woogieman 007. You might be able to see young Francis Chow on the TV table.
Now there is a fluker. brown hit the jaws of the cushion on the middle pocket.
Yeah, because what if you call it if your intent is to do evil things by laying a snooker, and you don't get the exact snooker you wanted, but your result of your shot is a snooker?
It's still a fluker.
Yeah.
In the same way that if you went for pocket A in a pot and you didn't get it, but it went into pocket B, you can't say you meant it.
I think coming off that jaw is a bit more of a fluker there, because that's just. So it's getting interesting. We'll see if Jacob can nip this frame.
Being a left-hander, that blue ball is getting in his way, I think.
Yeah, he's got a good angle to get down to the blue.
Ooh.
What's that old saying again, Dave? Soft, simple,
Slow.
slow.
Simple, short, and slow, sorry.
Thank you.
This is your captain speaking. We're cruising at 37,000 feet. It's the doorbell, for those that are wondering what that sound is.
Well played, Mr. Daly. Or Captain Daly, as we call him. We appreciate all the great feedback there. If you're liking the stream, definitely share it with all your friends. Anyone that's a snooker fanatic, or anyone that's just looking for some fun cue action to watch.
That was a nice shot. Oh, he snookered himself. So 12 in it with 18 on the table. Should be a relatively easy snooker to get out of. Oh, wow.
They're
very fortunate.
Tight middle pockets.
Yes. That's one example of where you're happy to see them being tight.
Yes, Snooker Shed, it has been a bit of a mission, this match. We've haven't had it all. Wanted to push that a bit more to the bulk cushion there.
As a, not sure that was the right shot choice.
Yeah, both of them tried that blind cut on the blue.
That was always that risk. It changes the equation quite a bit.
Yeah, Jouzif now needs blue and pink. Not sure. Jacobs. He's calling CCU.
I think he's probably asking how far is he allowed go before it's a foul.
I think actually there's one thing you can ask the referee. I had to look back at the rules. That like if you ask, well, if I take the shot, will there be a foul? I think it's one of those freak occurrences.
I'm not sure. I would have thought no, but I'm surprised every now and then. But given that he's a pool player transitioning, I think allowing him the question is a fair. That was a good shot. Almost went in off.
I'm pretty sure there's probably a lot of great websites out there that there's certain things you can and cannot ask the ref. Definitely know that you can ask a ref, hey, will that color ball go back on its spot if I pot it? And the referee should answer, well, pot it and then I'll tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Andy from the Snooker Shed. No, he wasn't the way down to the door because believe it or not, as commentators, that's also our job is to answer the door. There's nothing we won't do. Now, where is this going to stop?
Not in a good spot. How are your fingernails, everybody? It is tense on this table. That's right, Snooker Shed. I think I'm going to have nightmares of that doorbell or something like that.
Every time I'm on an airplane now, all I think about is ox biscuits when I hear that sound.
Well, you are the captain, Dave.
Now, Jacob is not used to the rest. So how can he hold his nerve with this one?
I think he's going to go get his moose antler one.
His Batman one.
Batman's a moose? So,
This is a pressure ball for him.
yeah, what a frame to steal. And the match.
And the match, yeah. Oh no! Wow,
He wanted that bad.
he did. I mean, he didn't leave an easy shot, though. I will say, based on what we've seen so far, this is a tricky pot.
Yeah. I think a player on an adjacent table helped him. Was happy with that slam on the table. It knocked a red ball into the pocket on the adjacent table.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he missed it too. He left it safe though.
That's been nice. We've seen a few black ball finals.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, it's there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh, what a shot there by Jacob. Gets a good round of applause. This mammoth of a match has come to a conclusion. We're going to step aside for a few moments, set up the next stream. Thanks again, Dave. Hopefully you come back. I'm not sure what our schedule is for commentating, but I've appreciated your company in the booth.
Thank you very much. I'll be hanging around. I'm going to get some lunch and then I'll be back.
All right. Thank you very much, Dave. And we'll just step aside and get the stream set up for our next featured match on the streaming table. Stay tuned, everybody.